This is when Cassandra got her groove back. Whatever those guys are playing, you keep dancing to it in your head. There you go, girl. Beautiful. All right, guys. So this is a bonbon coming to you straight from Salvation Mountain. I'm going to do a video today. I'm doing this just because it's scaring them in the background, which is fun. Yes, this is my Zeiss Batis. This is the first 85 that I fell in love with when I switched to Sony. It was the first native autofocus E-mount lens, full-frame E-mount lens that Sony had in its offering. It was made by Zeiss, not Sony, but Zeiss and Sony are good friends. And so Zeiss came out with the Batis, and it was an enormous success. There was a huge shortage of Zeiss Batis lenses when they first came out. I was one of the first to get my hands on one, and I did 20, 30 videos with the Zeiss Batis, with this very Zeiss Batis, and it's a tremendous, tremendous lens. Next to come out was the 85 G Master, which is a 1.4 lens. So this guy's $1,200. The G Master is about $1,800. And the new 85 sitting on my camera is the Sony FE 85 millimeter 1.8. Now that guy's only $600. So when this brand new one came out, and it still hasn't come out to the market, Sony sent it to me first, which I'm very grateful. Thank you, Sony. I'm going to be able to test it. Now, I did my first impressions with the 85 millimeter. If you haven't seen that video, check it out here. And when we did a video asking you guys what you really wanted to see with this lens, you guys said, please, Jason, compare it to the Batis, because that's the big question everyone has. Why? Well, they're both 1.8 aperture lenses. We have the beautiful Cassandra Caballero here, and she is going to model for us. She looks very colorful. Well, you are very colorful.
Yeah, I wanted to match the scenery.
You do match the scenery very nicely. We're not going to drag the G Master into this. I'm going to do these videos separate. This is going to be the Zeiss Batis versus the 85 1.8. So it's 1.8 versus 1.8. We're going to compare these two for you guys and let you make the decision as to what works best for you. I'm going to shoot the vast majority of this on a tripod because I want to make it literally apples to apples with each other. So we're going to have Miss Caballero stand right here and not move. And I'm going to shoot some with the 85 FE and then some with the Zeiss Batis and show it to you. So go ahead and pan back, Jason. So here we have the 85 set up on my A7R2. We have a diffuser that we're using right here, and then we have a off-camera flash, the Flashpoint Explorer set up here. We have her in front of this beautiful old truck. I want you guys to see how the colors render. I want you to see how the background renders. Here, I'm going to do eye autofocus on it. Look right here, don't move for me, hun. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3. And that is unbelievably sharp. Come over here, Jace, take a look, see if you can find it in here. So here's the eyes. This is the Sony FE lens. Very, very sharp. Okay. Now we're going to switch it out for the Zeiss Batis. Okay, now I'm just going to look at it. Now we don't need to change any of our settings. We're firing both these at ISO 100, f1.8, 25 hundredths of a second, using high-speed sync with the Flashpoint Explorer. So I'm just going to eyeball it. Now, Ryan, you haven't been around me. This is I know you've watched my videos. It's the first time you've been with me on set here. Come over here real quick. If I didn't know better, I would swear these are identical. That's the Sony FE.
28, 328, sure.
This is where it switches to Batis.
Yeah, they're pretty similar in.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean,
wait, is one a little? Oh, because that physical lens is a little bigger. The focal length changed like a tiny.
No, it shouldn't have. It does though, right?
A little bit, yeah. It looks like it's losing a tiny bit.
Yeah, that's interesting. The 85 Sony's actually a tiny bit wider. Yeah, you guys will see it in the shots. Guys, if I didn't know better, I'd say they look like the same lens. Now, we're not going to change it. We're going to go back to the FE lens to see if it lets in that little bit of space that's on the left side of the composition. Yep. Close a little bit. You know, yeah, it's a little bit wider.
That's strange.
Isn't that crazy?
It's weird.
The
85.
the Sony 85 is a tiny bit wider than the Zeiss Batis. That's crazy. Both of them do eye autofocus. I'm gonna take it off and look through the viewfinder because right now, from an eyeball perspective, right now I can't tell the difference between them from a rendering of the background. Normally you can tell that the pattern of the bokeh changes, the pattern of the rendering, the out of focus area changes. I can't tell any difference on these at all. Let's change the background. I don't know what else to do. That's crazy. Let's go over there on the other side of that bus. Am I saying it wrong still?
Caballero.
Well, I only know how to say
Yarrow.
caballero.
You just say it like that then.
Okay.
But it's still right technically.
Now let's do a little bit of coming in from the side. All right, Miss Caballero, come on over. Did I say it right that time?
Yeah.
Oh, so milagro. All right.
Your Cuban accent's really good.
I know you dig my Cuban accent. All right. Again, do the eye autofocus, fire, check for sharpness. Oh, this lens is sharp, y'all. All right, where's the Batis? You have the Batis, honey? 1, 2, 3. Look towards the light. Pull your hair back. All right, so now we're going to look at the physical characteristics between these two lenses. This is the Zeiss Batis. This is the 85. You ready? Okay, so okay, so the physical differences in the lenses. This one has a readout telling you how far away you are from your subject for focusing purposes. This one has more of a rubber focus ring here, and it feels pretty nice. I've never had a complaint with it. The focus ring over on the Sony is metal. It's easier to grip, but again, I've never had a problem with the Batis. The Sony does not have this readout. However, I can tell you I never once used this. The Sony has the autofocus, manual focus toggle switch, and has the focus lock and/or adjustable button there that you can adjust for other things on the lens. So, from a physical characteristic standpoint, the Sony definitely has an edge over the Batis. Now, one thing the Batis has is the Batis has image stabilization, whereas this lens does not. I personally don't think it's that. I personally think it's negligible if you're using one of the Sony cameras that has IBIS, in-body image stabilization, because the image is stabilized actually on the camera, so which is better. In-body image stabilization is much more preferable to lens stabilization. So, from a physical standpoint, the Zeiss is a little bit bigger, a little bit wider. From a weight standpoint, I'd say that I don't notice much of a difference. The Sony's a little bit lighter, I think not much to where it's going to make that big of a difference. Physical characteristics, I give the edge to the Sony. Image stabilization goes to the Batis, but again, if you're shooting on the A6500, A7 II, A7R2, and A7S II, any of the future iteration of Sony cameras, I believe all of them are going to have IBIS. So I always make my purchases based on what I think the future holds versus the past. And so even though this does have image stabilization in it, in the lens, I think that over time that advantage is going to be less beneficial to Sony users because of the fact that, well, the camera bodies themselves will all be stabilized. I personally shot my first shoot with this lens at 1/40th of a second handheld and had no issues at all. And you know, for shooting subjects, guys, when you're shooting human beings, sometimes mistake that us Sony users make is because we have in-body image stabilization, we think that we can shoot people at very slow shutter speeds, which is a big miscalculation because they are moving. Our hands may not move, we may not move, but they are moving So just the fact that you have a subject that's moving in the shot means you still have to obey some of the rules of handheld photography. Where the in-body image stabilization really comes into play is when you're shooting with longer focal lengths, and when you're shooting, like if I was out here at night and I was just hand holding a static shot of a sunset, that's where in-body image stabilization would allow me to shoot at 1/10 of a second, half second, or something else. But when you're talking about shooting portraiture, which is what 85mm lenses are for, because the body is stabilized, I don't think it's that much of an advantage at all. For bodies like the A6000 and for bodies like the A6300 that are not stabilized, this might have an advantage over it. Is it worth $600? I don't think so, to be honest with you. I would say that this one would be more than adequate. If I'm shooting portraiture, I'm not going to want to shoot her at less than a 1/60th of a second handheld anyways. Let's get some separation between her and the truck. So let's come all the way back here, right like that. Don't move. Pull your hair back again. Look towards the light. That's beautiful. This is the Batis now. Cassandra, you're gonna love these shots. If you don't, your eyes are broken. Whatever those guys are playing, you keep dancing to it in your head. There you go, girl. Beautiful. All right, so now we're bringing her real close up into the lens. She's about 6 feet away. This is the Batis. And I'm using eye autofocus, so it's a complete apples to apples. Perfect, let's try the Sony.
Is there supposed to be a difference between the two?
Well, there's $600 difference.
That's it?
Okay, now you heard what my little trusty assistant just said.
No, I mean, like, is that...
No, but that's... No, but you just said something funny, because that's what people want to know. Like, is there a difference? And it doesn't appear that there is a difference.
That's what I'm saying, because
it doesn't look like it, right? Yeah. It looks the same. I think the big holdout that we'll have to wait for is we're going to do a separate video where you do a bokeh test. Why? Well, because we have other videos to record and we have to wait till nighttime for that. But this is going to be our daytime Zeiss Batis versus 85 Sony test. We're doing the eye autofocus, facial recognition, performance. All of them are the same. And honestly, I would dub the Sony FE 85mm I don't know. It almost gives it a negative connotation, and I don't want to do that. But it's like the low-cost Batis. I don't know. I don't know that I would do the Batis if this guy's out there. I don't know if it's worth the extra $600. So, guys, what we're going to do now is we're going to wait for the sunset. Then we're going to be able to shoot these with the different lenses, and we get some bokeh in the background, do some really cool stuff. So we're gonna wait till the sun sets and then go from there. I shouldn't throw them, huh? Does that make you nervous? People tell me in my videos when I do this, it gives them anxiety.
Yeah.
That kid needs a NyQuil. I feel like I should be watching Chips. If I could just tell you guys one thing about Brenda, she's made abundantly clear to me. If stuff ever goes down, she's gone. You ready?
No,
ready?
Don't tell him that. Don't tell him that.
Sounds like that kid saying, man down. She says, I will not have your back. I will not protect you if anything goes down. I will not even give you a heads up. Brenda, you have to know what Chips is. My left hand's a little shaky. I don't know. I'm better with my right. And I don't own this lens. I'm like, can't you be like those little birds in Africa who start chirping when a leopard comes in to warn the baboon? She's like, nope, I'll be the bird that flies away. But when I see the leopard way off in the distance and the baboons, y'all can get killed. I don't care. Brenda's told me that. You guys grew up idolizing Poncherello. Okay.
Bonbon, you're on your own.
Bonbon. Bonbon.
Thank you, bombona. Not papitas, okay? Not ruffles. Well, there's not much bokeh in this because there's not many light sources. Oh my gosh, that kid's just killing my groove. Feed the kid a bonbon.
He's gonna give you a stick and then be like, bye, Felicia.
So you go first?
Bye, Felicia. Nice. You guys are just all heart. You guys still here? Hello? Talking to you. Hey guys, if you want to learn online with me, go to patreon.com/JasonLanierPhotography and you will be able to continue this craziness online from anywhere on planet Earth with me. If you want to join me live, go to JasonLanier.com/workshops and you'll get to see me in my full glory live and in person, guys. I think there's a smudge on there. Yeah, I got it. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.